Hi, thanks for watching. This is Pastor Justin Roberts from End of the Age Bible Prophecy. I just want to share with you something very quickly, and it's concerning the Canary Islands, and particularly the La Palma volcano, which I'm watching very closely. And because of this, I've made it my business throughout the history of this ministry to make screenshots, which are come out as images. So every time an earthquake happens at Canary Islands, I record it, which does seem sometimes when, it's a small earthquake, people seem to think it's a waste of time. But it's good to have the photographic evidence as, like an archive instead of trying to, make a note of it or write it down. It's so easy to make, a picture tells 1,000 words. It's so easy to upload a picture as an archive, and that's what I've done. And God bless that I have, because now I can actually look back. And see what's been happening in the Canary Islands, because I kind of got a feeling that the earthquakes were actually increasing around this area. I just had a gut feeling. I thought it seems to be very active. And in case you don't know about La Palma, this is the volcano here. And in 1940s or 50s, around that time, when like Nibiru was coming past us that time, and there was a whole lot of other stuff going on, it erupted and it cracked all down this side here, and basically there's a huge mass of land or earth rock, which is it's cracked, so it's basically hanging on by a shoestring. Next time the eruption happens, next time the volcano activity of the Earth rises, which it will, and the electromagnetics all rise of the Earth, because the throne of God is closing in on us, or Nibiru, whatever you want to call it. And when it starts to boil, it says that the water will boil and it will explode basically, and all of this land will go just piling into the sea, like it says in Revelations 8, when the second angel sounds, a great mountain burning with fire will be cast into the sea, and the sea will come blood red, for the nitrogen that comes out from La Palma will make what's regularly called red tide, but will create like an algae plume, or whatever the scientific terminology is for it. But the fish die because the no oxygen, whatever, in the water, so they all die. And also, it's expected when the Palma does fall into the sea, this will generate a massive tsunami, and it's happened before in the Canary Islands actually themselves, where it created a wave which was 50 meters above the sea level. That's the top half of the wavelength. So from top to bottom, it could easily be 100 meters from top to bottom. And basically, when it happens, La Palma, and when it does happen, it crashes into the sea and sends out a mega tsunami across the Atlantic, and then that's what happens. In America, it's going to roar up to like a giant. And probably many people have seen the movie. If you haven't, just go YouTube and type in the day after tomorrow, and then maybe tsunami or tidal wave or whatever. Go to that scene and you see it coming in, and that is pretty accurate. That is pretty accurate, and how it might happen. And of course, all these other places along here, Portugal, west of France, southwest England, southwest and westerly Wales, southwest Ireland will all be affected, and probably Iceland as well, all the Caribbean islands, and then the northeastern coast of South America. So it's going to be quite an event. But the point of me making this whole video is because I backtracked. I used my Facebook page, and I backtracked and logged down all the details of these screenshots of earthquakes at La Palma. There's another one there, I think. Western Sahara. I didn't count that one, but that is right. That is right close to La Palma. I didn't actually count these in. And there's one of the Canary Islands again. There. So I went through my Facebook page. I then took all the data from the images and I put them onto a spreadsheet. So here you have all the entries, and here you have the size of the earthquakes. Now on days where there were 2 earthquakes, I had to have some way of putting that data in. It would be very unfair of me, for it to pop out 2 earthquakes measuring like 2.6 or 2.7, and for me only to log down 1 earthquake for that day when there was actually 2. So I just decided now to add both magnitudes together, and there also yesterday had 2. That was the 17th of December. Yesterday had 2. So yeah, I just basically logged them all down, and then when you go and actually make the graph, it's a lot more clearer to look at. Here you have the graph again. Magnitudes here usually around 2.7 mark. Where there's 2, the magnitudes are higher because there was 2 earthquakes that day. Here you have the date: March, April, May, the end of 31st of every month, June, July, August, September, October, November, and the very end of the graph is where we are now, the end of December. Now you can see very easily to look at it and see we have 1 there, and there's like a month's gap, 1 there, a month and a half gap, even 1 there, nearly 2 months gap there, gap, big gap. But now after the 31st, this is strange. Now we have all these earthquakes. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all in this very short. It's visually, you don't have to be a genius, or you don't have to be able to read a graph, but you can see between the end of October and where we are now. I mean, we're not even at the end of December yet, but it has just gone wild. So my inclination that the earthquakes had increased over La Palma over the past, recently. I didn't understand the severity of it until I made this graph right now. Was, it's immense. And strangely enough, September, it was the end of September was the time of the last blood moon. And it's weird because after the last blood moon happened, things, like Britain declared that it would shoot down Russia, in live combat, not like threats or sanctions or anything. Israel went nuts with all these the Palestinians and the Jews just kicking off together, and all these terrorist type of attacks where people getting run over, and ramming cars into bus stops, and the attacks are just going whoa after the blood moon. Well, check this out. After the blood moon, La Palma volcano has awakened, and you know what I mean. You can see there visually by the numbers, and it's a fact that the blood moon happened. The blood moon's finished on September, and it's a fact that, because you have the data now in front of you, that La Palma is rocking straight after the blood moon. I mean, it's amazing to think, and people go, nah, that's not right, but there's the data anyway. So thank you for watching. I've been Pastor Justin Roberts from End of the Age Bible Prophecy. Time is short. Take care of yourself. Amen.